Okay, well here we are, and nobody watching. I didn't plan this, but just giving it a run with the new, the OBS software or the Streamlabs software, and seeing how things are with everybody. 4 people watching. Pop a hello in the chat so we know who's there. Just for everybody's information, there is a Discord channel. The link's down below in the box here. If you know how to use Discord, you can come on voice. Other than that, it's just a free-for-all general discussion. Testing out a bit of software and hopefully answering some questions with people. Michael Frosty Frost. G'day Michael, how you doing? I don't think I've seen you actually in the comments section on my channel before, but maybe you're just somebody who just likes watching the videos. And Mr. MP. Again, another one that doesn't comment but loves watching the channel. Really good. And look, I'm going to completely butcher that name there. Abhinav. Look, I'm just call you Ab, okay? From India. Nice to see you. Great you could join us. Yes, I'm just trying out. Like I've done a few live streams with mobile, I've done a few live streams with gaming, but the general consensus I'm getting from people on the channel is they just want to just a general chat back and ask questions and things like that. So I've done some modifications here and this is what we've got. There is about a 30-second delay from when you type to when it comes through onto the channel for you guys. That's one of the downsides of using the Streamlabs and OBS. Brent Higgins, g'day Brent, how you doing? We are broadcasting live here from Phnom Penh, which is in the western suburbs of Bangkok, as most of the viewers would probably know. And I'm really going to be leaving it up to you guys to, set the conversation, because I'm really not planning anything. Ernie, a fellow biker. Ernie, what are you riding? Everybody knows I ride a Vulcan, and I'm not the fastest rider when we ride in a group, if you saw today's video. Everybody wanted to overtake me every day, every 5 minutes on the ride. And of course, how do you sort of trim 3.5 hours of ride footage down to 10 minutes? It's a bit of a challenge. Now I've got some audio playing in the background as well, just to fill in some of the blank gaps. It's just I've just put a collection of tracks together from the YouTube audio library. It's nothing really fancy, but it's background music. If it's too loud, let me know. If it's not loud enough, let me know. I've set a volume that I think's what I'm hearing is the volume. I just can't really tell. And Harley Phil, how you doing? And Graham Cloythia, I've seen Graham on the other live streams. How you doing? Cloudy in England, huh? Well, it's been lovely and sunny here for the last few weeks, and it's looking like it's going to be sunny for the next couple of months. Can't hear the music. Well, I didn't want to drown me out, but let's just see if we can get a good audio level. That's now at 50%, so... And again, if that drowns out me, then of course it's too loud. So we just got to get that sort of happy medium. So I'm looking for, this is actually one of the reasons why I'm running this now. I thought this is the last stage that I can't really test myself. Gordon's alive. I'm glad he is. Wouldn't want to think there's a ghost trying to type something. Just bought a 2009 Harley Davidson Street Glide. Sweet bike. Picking it up Friday. $30,000 Canadian. Well, that's probably the Australian. $30,000 in Australian dollars as well, I guess. I think there's about on parity, isn't it? So one of the things we've got with this, it's all set up so the I can stream pretty much anything that's on my computer, right? It's just a derivation from the gaming sort of side of things. I've also got to remember to keep my hands, you know, less motioned. The ER6M, that's the same motor that's in my bike, I believe. The 650. An old 2003 Fat Boy. How's that riding for you, Harley? Harley Phil. So we've got, as I said, we're just running this to see how things go. I've got no discussion topics planned. This is just winging it. I'm going to let you guys ask the questions and lead on with anything that you want to talk about. I tend to join into other people's live streams and end up answering lots of questions. Yeah, the ER, it's the same as a Vulcan. You know, like it'll drop the ton quite easily. Although driving Thailand roads, you know, at that sort of speed is not advised. But it's got a nice motor. Mind you, those sports bikes that were out riding with us last at the on that ride video, most of them are in 1000cc, and they were just bullshit, really. I could not keep up with those guys. Well, I could if I pushed it, but I just really didn't feel safe pushing it, especially, you know, in Thailand roads. Actually, was actually out today. We did some shopping. Yes, that's a video I'll make up for that as well. Bought myself a new camera. If you guys have seen this Sony, it's the Sony Handycam come motion cam come everything cam. I'm just trying to get it charged up at the moment. And plug that back in. It's loud and love it keeping looking. Yeah, well, we went out to Harley Davidson a couple of weeks ago and we had a look at some of their bikes on the showroom floor. They're well out of my price range. Everybody seems to think, well, a lot of people seem to think I'm a millionaire. Well, I suppose in Thai terms I am, but not in real dollar terms. Ah, Gordon has a. I've actually, they missed me by that much. I think one of the first ride videos they did last year, we met up at Lumpini Park, and when I was parked under the tree, there were some pigeons in the tree. I got a nice spot of poop on the tank and on the seat, but they missed me. But still, I had nothing to wipe it off with, so I ended up getting it on my glove anyway, which is I suppose I got it on me. So as I've said, we do have a Discord voice channel. If you don't know what Discord is, I won't try to explain it, but it does allow you to sort of, with your computer, if you've got your computer and you've got a microphone and headphones, the link in the description box in this video will take you to my Discord channel where you can come in on voice. Just if you do that, just remember to mute the video so we don't get any crossfeed or feedback loop going. You married a Thai woman last year. How long were you dating there, Harley? Or Phil? Horizontal decline, good morning. Well, it's actually, I suppose it is morning now, isn't it? Robert Mac in Asia, sorry. Hello from Hollywood, California. Ah, Stephen, I thought you were going to do some study. I was talking to Stephen just before we started this. I threatened to actually go live at 8 o'clock, but we got busy chatting, so I thought, well, run the test at 9 o'clock and see how we go. So as I said, I've got the audio playing in the background, just a bit more fill, right, because there will be blanks, there's nobody else here in the discussion, unless of course somebody comes on Discord. And so while I read things, it's just a bit of background music. A year before the marriage, me and Chanya have been together 10 years. I think we got engaged 6 years ago, but we're still waiting for the laws to change over here to actually make it all proper and legal. There are some, I think, proposals about expanding the LGBT rights here in Asia or in Thailand, but at the moment that just hasn't happened. Kim Slape from Adelaide. Yeah, so everybody loves Chanya. Unfortunately, she's run up to see her friends up at Om Yai, where they cut hair outside the big C there. She won't be home until maybe 11. What is it, 9 o'clock now? Hopefully she'll be back home about 10, but it depends on what they're doing and how long they stay. Don't forget there was, so thanks Horizontal. I'm doing that one video which has 6 to 10 minutes of ride, give you an idea what it's like on the bike, but there is a longer play version if you really want to get a feel of those bends and turns around the lake there. That other video is one you could definitely sort of have a look at. The link for that's in the description box in the video, and it's also on the website. But yeah, it's not everybody's cup of tea. I just put it up there for people to get a real feel for it. So it's like all what I'm sort of seeing. There's lots of names here I'm not used to seeing. I don't know why you guys aren't dropping more comments in the comments box, but that's totally up to you guys. I know a lot of people just like live interactive chat rather than sort of be part of the like the messaging crew that gets replies 24 hours later. So I did ask the question, is that music too loud now, or is it just right, or just wrong? Let me know if it's just at the right level. Let me know. I can't really test it from here. Oh, we got 26 people watching. Oh my God. Well, it's hard to say when you say, is Bangkok getting quieter? That's something that I've really well, I've only had 2.5 years here. The streets don't look any quieter. When we've been out into the expat area like Sukhumvit, it certainly seems crowded down there at the times we've been down there. But out here, I think life just seems to be just normal, because I live in the suburbs and I don't really have much interaction with the foreigners because we're so far out west. Most foreigners don't come out this far. So daily life is just daily life out here. Nothing really has changed in that way. All we've got at the moment, though, I should have taken some photos, but like the main street down there on Petkasem Road, every tree and every telegraph pole and every signpost, it's got these damn billboards of all the election promises and who's running for election next weekend. God, it looks like it's an absolute, like, talk about visual pollution. It is absolutely atrocious. I've never seen that bad before the last time in elections, but I guess they haven't had elections for 5 years, so everybody wants a piece of the action. Anyway, so getting back to the give Wazza a thumbs up. Thanks, Stephen. Yeah, certainly give it a thumbs up. I'm not even watching that. What do we got? We got 3 thumbs up. Look, if you're watching and you like these sort of things, it's the thumbs up that really sort of makes me and drives me on. So if you want to see more of this sort of stuff, I judge that by how many people are watching, how many thumbs up we've got, how many people we're talking to, how the conversation goes. Larry, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you joining us. Yeah, this setup here, well, I don't want to miss people. So where was that, Brett? Music the correct level, that's what I wanted to hear. Thanks, Brett. Brent, sorry. My eyesight. Even with glasses, I need to slow down a bit when I read. Ab, you were starting to get my name absolutely spot on. Believe me, believe in yourself. Abinhav. Okay, well, we'll try that. I don't like to abbreviate. Like, Australians are really well known for abbreviating names, like Warren, Wazza, Gary, Gazza, Gordon would be Gordo, Stephen would be Steve, or Steve-O. Phil, well, that's pretty short for Phil. Kim's a pretty short name. Oh, I didn't see it. Phil at Fidelity Questa. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you dropping in. Robert, well, we call that a Bob. But it's one of those Australian things, sort of filling in and shortening names. It's an Australian pastime. Gordon, have I heard from Kev? No, I haven't heard directly from Kev. I've been in contact with some other people who are in contact with Rob. And Rob's feeding back into our, what we call our loop channels, right? And from what I've heard, and we don't want to talk too much about Kev. I haven't heard directly, but the chemo really knocked him pretty sort of sideways. And I think he was to do a stream last Sunday. He just was not up to it. He's feeling the effects of chemotherapy, which is, it not only sort of attacks the cancer cells to remove the cancer, it also attacks your white blood cells and pretty much anything to do with a healthy living. You become almost susceptible to every virus that could be floating around because you've got no immunity. And it's not a pretty sight. We've been discussing it offline, but that's about all I say. I believe he's okay, but let's hope we can get some more feedback from those channels to sort of see what's going on a little bit more closer to the course, because I'm hearing things third hand, so I don't want to speculate any more than chemotherapy knocks you about, and he wasn't up for a live stream last Sunday because of the way he was feeling. Yeah, and getting back to Larry, the setup here, like I've got it set up so that we can really get interactive with the internet. As I said, I can quickly do this changeover. So this is my Facebook account, and we can talk about anything Facebook. We can easily go and do some search. Oh, here's the camera I've just bought. There it is there. Well, you probably can't see it there. But it's the new Sony 4K. It cost me about $720 Australian, or 16,000 baht. But yeah, so that's why I've got the setup like this, so I can really get fairly interactive with the audience and talk about all sorts of things in the web. Change the style up a bit. I don't want to go and review channels. Stephen's doing the channel review style thing. But if people want to know what's going on with the channel, or they're recommending something that's worth talking about, as long as it's a positive sort of framed thing, I'm quite happy to sort of, maybe sort of put that up. But yeah, so it's just giving some flexibility. Again, bit of an advertising. Don't forget, I've got my website, the website Chanya and Wazza's Thailand Adventures. One of the best things about this particular website here is one thing that you can't do as a viewer on YouTube. You've got full interaction here with the search facility. You want to know about Bangkok, you can hit that search and it will come up and give you everything I've done that has something to do with Bangkok. There's my last 5 videos on Bangkok. Run to Harley Davidson, meet up at Jack's Bar. That was a live stream with Kev and Stephen. I don't know why that one's coming up there, but yeah. So it's fairly good for getting back and stuff. Like I've got things on location. We've got the places we've been around: Ayutthaya, Charm, Chong. I can't even say that word. It's up northwest of Bangkok, Kanchanaburi. So like Kanchanaburi, we've been out there a few times. In this case here, the ride to Sisorot, that was today's video. We did those trips out at New Year's. That's basically the idea behind the website. It gives you a lot more interaction with the website. One of the new things that I am working on now, I've let a few people know about this, and we've got a few people subscribed to it already. Although I'm quite active on Facebook, I'm very anti-Facebook because of the way they spy and they advertise. I've got ad filters on Facebook to minimize the bullshit that they come out with. But this is something we've just recently launched. We're still in what they call a beta phase. This is the Thailand hub. Now, I don't want to take any fame away from other people in Thailand, but Simon and his crew, I think nearly 2 years ago, tried to launch the Thailand desk, and unfortunately it was a great idea, but the software and the running costs were too high. This is something this is personally funded by me. What we're trying to do here is get into an interaction. We can go and talk about this a bit later on. But the whole idea is, Thailand Hub, that's Thailand Hub. The link's down below. You'll find a link in the description box below. You can definitely join there. It requires an email verification. What we're trying to do is build a community. When we say community, it gives you guys the opportunity to set up your own groups and your own topics. There's a marketplace for buying, for selling things. Like, obviously that's going to require some people to be started to sell goods, and you can start to have a conversation about those goods. There's pages. Like I've got a couple of sample pages sort of set up already. If I click the button, that'll take me there. So that's like I've done a page for my website, Chanya and Wazza's Adventures. Here's 3 other pages I've done. Some travel, Thailand travel destinations, the Thailand hub, which is just some information, and some Thailand humour. Although I haven't been very active on filling that one up. Again, these are just the things that I've started doing. I put a couple of groups in there just to see how the group functions work. So that, again, so this is sort of to try to encourage people to get active in talking about Thailand immigration, because it's always an ongoing topic. Healthcare and medicine, because this is currently, with Kevin Hospital and me having that little problem about a month ago. It's put it as a very sort of topical conversation piece. The groups you subscribe to, and then you'd be filling in, you'd be reading certain things, that people post about those sort of topics. But again, it's the whole idea is to having people come in, start up their own topic groups, start up their own pages, and getting sort of interactive and building community. So that's something to look forward to. You can join now, but more will be happening in the next month or two with this as we start to ramp up and start to get some people involved in it. What else is there? We're 25 people watching, so that's pretty good. Yeah, let's get back to let's get back to me. So that's basically the way we've got it set up. Now I can bring up anything else in there and start to discuss topics of interest and use the web resource. One of the things that I've always been sort of negative on the whole live stream is trying to sort of be the know-it-all, because quite frankly, I'm only been here for 2.5 years. I've been travelling here since 2005. I'm definitely not a know-it-all. I'm still learning. I learn something every day, and I think that's one of the beautiful things about the Thailand vlogging group and that's a Thailand vlogging hub, which we do have a separate discussion group on the Thailand vlogging hub. Where we talk about cameras, we talk about videos, people posting their videos in the group. That's my mate Tim, that was his latest one there. Definitely, if you're not plugged into this group here or plugged into Thailand Desk, the links are down below. So, getting plugged into both. We'd love to have you sort of, building these communities, which is what we're all about. Anyway, I'm not really following the chat very well, so let's get back to what with Robin. And I've been a subscriber for a while under Robin. Yeah, Robin back there. I think you still said that, Robin. Yeah. To share with my friends. Look, I've got to learn anything. Look, reach out. Look, I'm now set up that I can do private live streams, or what they call one-on-one live streams, where you can come in on voice on Discord. So you can ask questions and I can stream from my point of view here and help you out. We can make those sort of teaching things public. One of the things I've always been about here, and more so the longer I'm here, is try to help other people get a foothold here in Thailand, and sharing what I know, right? It's not always right. I'm always being told that I've got things wrong, but hey, I'm still learning. What else we got? Relish TV. Plugged in. I really don't know. It's just like a little cartoony thing. Pretty cool. Actually, I thought all these smoking lounges in Australia were dismantled about 2 or 3 years ago. The smoking lounges in Swanapum, I think, have just been pulled down, or they're actually just been pulled down in both Swanapum and in Dong Mueang. So your smokers have to wait till you get outside, which is a bit unfortunate. Robert just saying the radiation made him feel very sick. Yeah, it's not a nice way to go, but I said, if you don't get it now, esophagus cancer is very, very, it's very, very, what's the word? It can really take off and really sort of expand very fast. One of the things I heard, it was pretty close to lymph nodes, and so if it spreads down that way, it could be really, really quite devastating. But let's not talk bad things. Let's all, keep our thumbs crossed and our thumbs up and fingers crossed and all that sort of stuff, that he sort of makes a quick recovery, and we all wish him well. Yeah, so people are saying they like the bike riding videos. I'm going to try to get one of those every 4 or 5 outings, but again, when we get to the rainy season, there'll be a lot less of that going on as well. The FDR 300X is an awesome camera. Well, they said it was well, that's we don't have JB Fi over here. it came with the waterproof case. It came with obviously the wrist strap. There's a whole bunch of extras that came with. Came with a 64 gig card. It came with a second battery. So their shelf price was normally about 23,000 baht, which was the same price as the Sony Handycam that I was looking at. But because they had that discount on it with all those extras and coming in at 16,000 baht, I thought, yeah, it just seemed like to me a good deal. We do pay a little bit more for those special items that don't get made in Australia, get made in Thailand, because they do. They have a fairly high import duty cost, which it's not like competitive. Like I think online shopping in Australia is pretty well one of those sort of systems now that's fairly well established. We have a couple of online systems over here. I think three of them pretty much get used or regularly. There's Lazada, Banggood, and AliExpress. Although AliExpress is not purely Thailand, Banggood and Lazada are sort of more Thai focused, and you need to. Their English translation is not very good. Running a Google translator on the site will be better for you because it'll fill in all the blanks. But AliExpress is an English site, but they ship from China. So I tend to use AliExpress. I've got an account with there, and they've got all my details. Makes life a bit easier. But when I went on AliExpress, this camera here was to say, well, that was the 23,000 baht with all those extras. So seeing it at 16,000 with the extras seemed like a good deal. I got this nice little, this is one extra bit. This was 1,600 baht, so that's $60 extra. So you put the little, if I just do this properly without upsetting things. It has this little viewfinder which you can then clip into the handheld piece here, or it goes on your wrist, or it's got a belt attachment, for quick use. There's also, this was another one of their attachments, which is the quick release system there. Or did I get that one right? I don't know if I've got that right. That's right, you've got a little clip somewhere. Where is the clip? Anyway, it goes on there, and then the camera goes in here, and it's like it's a thumb grip. It's quite handy sort of size, like really quite light and everything else. So I thought, well, I couldn't go past it. It was quite good. I've been looking at a number of different cameras, and the one feature that I do like about this, it does have a microphone input, so I'll be able to sort of mic up properly in those hard to hear areas, so you'll hear me as opposed to all the background noise, which is one of the things I can't do on the Panasonic. And of course it's 4K, so we can probably do some wide angle shots, scenery shots and things like that, and get more interactive with that sort of stuff as well. Well, yes, again, horizontal decline. Again, this is something that really the audience tends to do, is they start to want to talk about other vloggers. As I sort of said there, let's not talk about, well, apart from the fact that we're sort of having condolences for Kev. He's one of the best vloggers in Thailand, in my opinion. That probably doesn't agree with everybody, but the people here, Larry and Stephen and a few others here, know Kevin quite well, and we're all rooting for him and hoping he sort of does get well. But other vloggers are welcome to come in, and we can, as long as they're here and participating in the conversation, quite all right to have conversations with them. But let's not speak out of school. Like, I prefer to say, if they can't answer for them, there's no reason I should be answering for these guys, right? They've got a way of interacting with their audience. So please, if you've got something with an issue or a question for somebody who's not here, then take it to their channel, take it to their comment section and ask them. This is only third-hand information, so I'm not the person to be asking. Yeah, so that was my idea. I thought with the extras, it just seemed like the best way to go. Yeah, okay, Phil. Certainly, well, actually, to tell you the truth, I've been off the beer for the last 4 weeks. I'm into fruit juices and juicing and things like that since the kidney stone. I've got another report back in 2 weeks. They're going to do another X-ray. They think that there's still another one there that they would like to do a CAT scan on, but again, it's not giving any problem. Now that I know I've got it there, I think, with the change in diet I've had over the last 4 weeks, I'm actually feeling a lot more chipper and a lot more, ADHD than I used to be. Let's hope that the change in the diet will help, dissolve what's there and it will pass through normally. Because they do dissolve if you've got the right diet. Thailand Unplugged. G'day, Steve. Is that the Thailand Unplugged? Well, he's got the spanner, so it must be the right Steve. I wouldn't give one of the fakers a spanner, that's for certain. Again, I'm not going to talk about faceless Thailand vloggers because it's really personal opinions. There are. I think everybody that's vlogging offers something to the community in one way, shape, or form. Let them do their thing. There are rules and regulations around YouTube. What I think about what they're doing is totally my own thought process, and what you think is yours. Let's not start putting thoughts into other people's heads. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, some of those ones that do the forward-facing camera stuff, that's a style, not my style. All good to them. I hope they do well. Their channels seem to thrive. Let's just move on. What do we got there? Fidelity Quest. If you go back to Australia to visit, what would you bring back to Thailand? Vicks nasal spray. You can't get that stuff in the chemist store. Like, we can get Vicks nasal spray in Woolworths, I think. You just buy it off the shelf, but it's one of those things, they don't have it here. They're into these, they're menthol sniffers, which really don't do the same thing. Like, as you know, if you've ever been choked up with a cold or flu, a couple of squirts with a Vicks nasal spray and it's gone in 3 minutes and you've got clarity. Except you've also got to be worried about the fact that if you can get what they call rebound from that, then you're forever sniffing this damn stuff. I've still got a bottle from last year, but I think it's the expiry date. Actually, I haven't even looked at the expiry date. It's probably it's May 2019. So I'm in new to one of these things. Well, I think the expiry dates on these things here are miscellaneous, still working quite well. So, but I'm down to 1/3 of a bottle. So if you're coming over, get me one of these Vicks nasal spray. What else is there? As I said, you can't get cold and flu tablets, but I know you can't even bring them in the country. That's a Schedule 1 drug, so don't want to get you guys in trouble. Australian cheese. Well, most of the stuff you can get, Australian cheeses and New Zealand cheeses we can get at Foodland on the road. Vegemite. Okay, I might be paying, I think they got those small little tiny jars of Vegemite. They're like 400 baht or something for something like that. It's probably, you can get the 500ml version for probably the same price in Australia. But one of my good friends came over recently and I'm halfway through the 500g jar. So it's got probably another 3 or 4 months left of usage. But Vegemite's always, if you're coming over, Vegemite, you can never have enough Vegemite, I tell you. And Vegemite sandwiches with cheese, oh mate, Thais just don't know what they're missing out on, seriously. The girls downstairs, when I go and make my Vegemite on toast, They look at me as if that I'm eating something poisonous. It really is the funniest thing. I just tell them, sorry, this is Australian food, not for Thai people, sorry, and put it back in the fridge, and nobody touches it. Yeah, I suppose I've done some solo before. I did the solo gaming once, but people don't find that sort of stuff interesting. This is more of conventional style. Um, I'm taking myself in that camera view. I'm squeezing that down. Well, one reason the camera I'm using is only 720p, so it doesn't make it so blurry. And secondly, it's I can put the rules on the side on the side there. You can see the chat going on there, but I think I need to do something with that. I just realised that you probably can't see that very well. I think I got the backfill. Chat box, where is it? Chat box there. Let's just unlock that, and let's just put that's better. That's where it should be. So there we go. Yeah, so they're using the Streamlabs OBS. There is a delay, and the chat will run off screen itself after 30 seconds. So it doesn't leave the screen so cluttered. But if you're watching this thing live, you're probably just watching the live chat anyway. This is obviously for people coming in later to watch it post stream. It puts the chat on screen, which I've always liked, that sort of style. Again, I'm a gamer, and that's something that we're quite used to in the gaming arena. But the downside using the Streamlabs is there's a 30-second delay as opposed to like the Hangouts, which I think is about 8 to 10 seconds. And I think the normal streaming is about maybe 10 to 12 seconds because it's not going through a processor. See, what's happening here is it's coming through from YouTube, then it's coming to my computer, and then I'm feeding it all back out again. So that's why that's a longer delay. Not that it really matters. As I say, as you type the questions, then we'll get to the answers, you know. Just got to wait 20 seconds longer. I don't think we're really all that desperate. An error occurred. Error occurred. What? What? Oh, okay, it was just my error. Mirror my side. The stream hasn't stopped, thankfully. Let me just pop that chat on. Pop that. Just let me just sort a couple of little things out. I didn't realise we did that. Pop out again, bring that over here again, and expand. Yeah, so what have we got? 37 watching. Well, for the first live stream, we've got 1 thumbs down. Well, they say a 10% ratio, thumbs up to thumbs down is fairly acceptable. Anyway, getting back to things. Yeah, Stephen says no, son, not the same price in Vegemite. Yeah, they're really sort of, you know, a lot of those exotics in Foodland. I think Foodland and Villa are in another company. Foodland seems to do Australia and New Zealand quite well, and Villa markets. I think they're more the English and American special food groups. I'm not quite sure. Don't take me to town on that one. But those two independent supermarkets, they specialise in those products. So if you're Australian, then you know Foodland is pretty good for that. Thailand Unplugged. What? Oh, this is the wrong. Yes, yeah, we can ban him. Well, like I'll ban him. I'm not going to sort of put up there. Hide use that. He's gone altogether. Go and make another account, you stupid arsehole. These people who want to fake it because they can't make it. That's their problem. Anyway, so where do we get up to? Vitamins. Well, like the only I very rarely take supplements. So I probably take multivitamins if I feel I need something missing in my diet, and a vitamin C if I feel a cold coming on. But you can quite easily get them. They're just Blackmore's quite freely available. It's probably again a little bit more expensive than over here, but rather than have you guys lug it over on whatever it is, then fair enough. I can get vitamins. As I said, the Vic Sinex is the one you can't get. But other than that, I've really not missed anything from Australia. Well, as said Graham, you can get Marmite, but I think you have to go to Villa Markets for Marmite. And I could bring up their website now and have a look, but then of course that takes it away from you guys and the chatting. So I would bring an extra I would bring any extra X large clothing with. Well, I'm fitting into what we call the L size here, generally in Thailand, L or XLs. So I'm not really having too much trouble finding clothes to fit me. I'm in the process of losing weight with the change of diet. I've lost a couple of kilos, which is good. If I can get down, ideally, I'm aiming in the next 6 months to get down to 75 kilos. Which means that I can get down to probably the 34 waist again, and get rid of this, get rid of the gut. That's just planking and sit-ups. That's what I've been doing lately, and it seems to be working. Well, I don't think Farangs can actually vote, Gordon. So I've been following, a little bit. I don't talk about it much because, again, it's Thai politics, and really it's nothing to do with me. The feeling is the fact that that some of the stuff I've been reading from Calcit English and a few other news sites, they're feeling a little bit pressured. The fact that it doesn't matter if the junta lose favour, they've pretty much still got it wrapped up in this sitting in the government. But as I said, I kept on just saying to people, like, I've been coming here since 2005, and I watched what we call the stalemate situation of nothing getting solved and nothing getting done. And quite frankly, over the last 5 years, since 2014, the infrastructure projects that they've undertaken and got underway have been great for the country. And like what they call the Western Corridor, bringing in sort of the new business from, they've got a rail link they're proposing, and the new Rayong expansion. All these things here is, quite frankly, been initiated and been escalated by the current government. So, apart from the feelings of the fact that it's not a democracy, well, we're watching democracy in America fall apart. It's no longer democracy that we're talking about. It's oligarchy and things like that. So, I think somebody making decisions and getting things done is good for any country. If only the English government and politicians would see the fact that if they just make a damn decision and get the Brexit over and done with, really, stay or leave. Just make a damn choice. Stop diddle-farting around and get it done, right? The people said leave. By constituency they said leave. Everybody, the only people sort of saying to stay are the politicians, who effectively might have to do some work if they leave, which I think that's really the underlying factor there, isn't it? If something like Brexit and they have to fall onto the WTO rules comes about, right, that means that the politicians and government are going to have to get their arse into gear and actually earn the money that they make to make new trade deals with countries that are aligned with the WTO ruling. Right, and again, sort of, setting up new trade rules with Europe. It just means work. That's why they don't want to do it. They don't want to do any freaking work. They want to get paid their lovely, 70, 80, £1,000 a year salaries, but they don't want to work for it. Anyway, that's my little rant. Where are we? Oh, what Chanya did tell me is this, like I will let this one on because it's in the video I shot today. There is actually 2 ladyboys running in the Bangkok province, and one what we call tomboy, which tomboy is the girl who dresses as a guy, and of course the ladyboys, which is the men who dress up as women. Right, so there's 2 ladyboys and 1 tomboy running for seats in the Bangkok province, and that's who she's going to be voting for. It doesn't matter about policies. I thought that was quite funny, but that's the way Thailand is. It'd be nice to actually see some representation from the LGBT group, and hopefully they will push forward in those LGBT rights issues that have been stalemating for the last 6 years. What do we say? I bring Blackmore's volumes at 36 watching, 16 thumbs up. Oh, so we're doing pretty good. Kim Slave, do the cinemas in Thailand show? And look, yeah, all the major Hollywood movies are being shown, but being this far west, I actually have to go down to, I think, the mall at PopeKael, which is a bit closer to Bangkok. The cinema that's closest to, there's 2 cinemas much closer to us. They never show English versions, or they very, very rarely show English speaking versions. And again, when that's in Thai, they don't have English subtitles. So you really put out and buy that. And the further out of the provinces, you will just simply not get movies, right, that are in English. But don't worry, there's lots of websites out there that stream these things here. The legalities of the streaming, well, it's not really something I'm going to discuss, but nobody's pulling them down, right? There's HDO.2, that's one that I use, and pretty much all the latest stuff comes up on there. It might be cam versions, so you wait a few days for a decent cam cut. You might have that XBet plastered through the video twice with little pop-ups. But you can still see the movie, and most of the time they're generally watchable, so you don't miss out. Then again, you could always subscribe to Netflix and other, what they call streaming services. Netflix obviously will probably require a VPN to get all your content because they have to deal with the international copyright laws. Go-go hopping, g'day, how you doing? Let's hope that's the right go-go hopping. Can somebody check that? And if they are, let me know. I'll make sure that he's got himself a little spanner. I do need to fill in more of the, what do you call it, the moderate, because I've only done like the 2 sit-in live streams. The rest of the live streams we've done out there on the camera version, and I really can't interact very well with that sort of stuff. Oh, look, there's Thunder GT. I'm pretty sure that's the Thunder we know. I'm going to give Thunder a spanner. He's always been a good supporter of other channels. Might as well give him some ranking here as well. Oh, Thai dubbing is really bad. Like, I don't know how anybody... How could you ever get a Thai person to voice over in Thai and get the same feeling as the jokes? Like, was I'm trying to think of the red-headed guy. What was it? God, I'm having a complete mental blank. The swords. You know what I mean? The some of those actors, seriously, there's no way a Thai conversion from English to Thai could get the same meaning and the same feeling as some of those jokes that so yeah. But as there are English versions. If you go into the centre of Bangkok, you can get English, and they'll have Thai subtitles. Me and Chanya argue about that when we want to go and see a live movie, because she wants to hear it in Thai. She doesn't want to sit there and read the subtitles. And again, vice versa. I don't like reading subtitles either. Well, again, like I don't know much of Canadian politics, so I think Australian politics has gone to the dogs. And again, I just don't think politics these days is really worth talking about. I think the biggest problem is the fact that democracy is starting to look like it's failed Western society, because it's driven by mega corporations now. It's no longer a democracy; it's an oligarchy, right? Anyway, that's just my own little thing about that. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that first. E. Stephen M. Hi, Waz. Have you voted for the upcoming elections? I don't get to vote. I'm a foreigner. We don't get to vote. That's about all we'll sort of say. Foreigners don't have the privilege of voting. So let's move on from that subject. News they portray is that Apple is re-releasing its streaming service next week. Well, that's probably in competition to Google's streaming service that was released today, was it? I've been following the circuit, and I'd have to go and look at my Twitter account to see if it's up and running yet. What's happening on Twitter? Getting some definite lag on the screen there. Maybe my mouse button might need charging up. That's the real go-go hopping? Yeah, I think go-go hopping's he's a good supporter of Thailand vlogging, so let's just also give him a bit of a spanner. I think he knows how to keep the peace with different people. Green Man from Singapore, obviously in the same time zone. I don't know how I was only planning to go on for an hour, so we're coming up to the hour mark now. But we've got things happening, so I might as well keep it going until you guys get bored. Paid for Netflix and Crunchyroll. After subscribing, found none of the shows I wanted to watch there. Well, that's always been the case, even in Australia. The stuff that I was watching in Australia, I tend to watch TV series, and I don't want to wait a week or a month for it to be aired on Netflix. I want to see the episode when Game of Thrones starts. I think in 2 weeks. I want to see that episode as soon as it's released. Right, and I'm certainly not going to subscribe to HBO. God, they charge an arm and a leg. And then, of course, I'd have to VPN into America to watch HBO, and then my 100 meg bandwidth gets pulled down to about 5 or 6 meg. So whether it's streamed properly and buffer and all that sort of stuff, 24 hours after it's on HBO, I'll be able to watch it on HDO. I'm sure at one stage HDO will get pulled down, but they run it on they're running it on multi-access points, so it's going to be pretty hard to pull it down. I don't know where the source material is coming from. The source material is probably coming out of China or something, I'm guessing, and basically there's no jurisdiction. The Western lawyers are just going to be fighting an uphill battle to try to pull something out that's streaming out of China. It's hard to talk about US politics when you can't catch the breath from you're yeah, Magic Dude. I know, I see your posts on Facebook. Some of the stuff is laughable. Um, Again, this polarization left and right. Well, we get it in Australia as well. I can't understand it, left and right polarization, and that the landscape is a scale, right? There's some things on the left and some things on the right. Can't we be voting for things, and can't politicians get back to, well, the people in my constituency want to see better roads across here. Why can't we get that happening? This is what the whole idea of Parliament and government's all about. But no, it's just become a just absolute joke. Um, you know. Oh, there's New South Wales elections, is there? I think I did read that somewhere. I'm no longer on the electoral roll. I did take myself off. It's one of the options I was given. I said, well, I'm not in the country, so pointless me voting to stay on the roll. I suppose I could stay on the roll. I could put myself back on the roll, and I've got an Australian address and vote online for the suburb of Northbridge is where my postal address is. But that seems like it's a bit of a, doesn't really matter. I agree. So many of your philosophies. Mr. Murdoch, yeah. Philosophies. I'd love to get into philosophical discussions, but again, the channel started out as our life in Thailand. People are just saying, why don't I start more of a cutting-edge channel on philosophy and talk back and things like that? Well, maybe we can start to do that and expand the whole general Q&A. Here, this is what we're trying to do: is sort of bring some, my thoughts and feelings into the whole general discussion process. Yeah, horizontal decline. Yeah, I believe it started today. I can't. I don't have it on. I don't have a link for it up on my screen. Actually, somebody messaged me about it. So who was it? That was in that group. Scroll back a bit. Scroll back a bit. The Stadia. Google Stadia. I haven't got any more details on it yet. Let's see if I can find it. Google Stadia. Okay, so it's a link to Chromecast. Well, I suppose to show you what I'm looking at. So there's a link to Chromecast, GameSpot. There's a lot of talk about it. The Google Stadia, not quite sure what they're doing here. Supposedly the hand controller you can do with, I think I've got to knock that volume down a bit actually. It's a bit on the... But yeah, so the whole idea is rather than you download your games to your local PC streaming, it'll be all linked into the whole YouTube framework where you get to play the games and stream the games into YouTube gaming platform, hence taking out a lot of the lag and getting really sort of quite cutting edge. But again, I don't know if this is going to interest everybody. It interests me, but I've just been waiting for more information to come along to say, well, this is what it's all about. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do the live streaming like this. So again, we can really get quite interactive with what we're sort of seeing. I think really the platform's really designed to hit that FPS sort of game framework as well. The problem with normal computing is if you're in America, it's okay because you've got a 50 to 60 millisecond lags on your platform, so you can go one-on-one against somebody and you've only got 50 to 60 milliseconds of screen lag, so you can aim and shoot somebody. Me, if I'm playing FPS, I get a real problem with the fact that, like, even here in Thailand, I think the best latency I can get to Thailand is something like 220 milliseconds is the best I've ever seen it. Which again puts me at 180 millisecond lag. So that means, 0.18 seconds later do I see a position on the screen with somebody I've got to shoot, and then I got to click obviously I'm not the fastest 6 shooter in the West, so again that's going to be another problem. I get to positional accuracy on the screen where a moving target's going, you've got to aim the crosshair, you've got to hit the button, right? So that's taken 180 milliseconds longer to get to me, and then that click where I shoot is 180 milliseconds back to the game server, and then it's got to process it. So effectively, oh, there we go. Somebody just subscribed to the channel, did they? There we go. Stephen, thanks, Stephen. So where was I? Yeah, so 360 millisecond latency at minimum, plus game processing time. You're effectively, at the best I've ever seen it, I'm half a second behind anybody else that's playing the game. And half a second is the difference between life and death. So, David Bond, is that the David Bond, or is that a fake David Bond? Yeah, I think that's one of the trolls. You can just get rid of him. There is actually a real David Bond, but I don't think he really subscribes to my channel or watches my channel. So where do we get up to? US minutes for less. Google looks streaming. When in doubt, break an egg with the. Yeah, again, I love that little bit about the egg boy, right? The first headlines, egg boy slams an egg in the politician's face. What a freaking lie that was. He hit him in the back of the head, and God, if somebody come up to you and hit you in the back of the head, certainly I'd turn around and swing and deck the guy myself. I wouldn't wait to see if he was a 16-year-old. I would just I'd just hit the guy. This has been blown all out of proportion. I think the guy was totally in his rights, right, to lay one into him. Laying two into him, I think he could have left that for his minders. But first, throwing the punch in there and deck the guy, I'm good on you. It's good to see some politicians standing up for their own bloody rights for once in a while. Right? The bloody media wants to... Oh, anyway, just gets me riled up. We need to stop supporting political parties as they are as there are footy teams that we're supposed to be one-eyed. Yeah, best for the country should be. Yeah, again, I think this whole two-party system is what we really failed on, right? And I think we're sort of starting to see more into independent politics. There's more and more independents running, and I think that's what we really need in Australian politics, is getting getting rid of this two-party system, right? Yeah, Labor can have a try and sort of form a government. I think they will get in this term because of what the Liberal government has been doing. But let's see if we can have some independence of thought rather than this full-on party line sort of politics. Really just annoys the shit out of me. And that's because, he was elected by a bunch of people who were voted Vin. Look, don't get me started on politics. I studied politics, in the 70s when I was at school. it sort of made sense back then, right? But that was really the era that politics started to change. I remember that was 75, but that was the sacking of the Whitlam government. That should have gone straight to election, but caretaker governments, we didn't elect that government then. Should they take care? Again, rules and regulations. I think if you elect somebody to be your voice in Parliament, he needs to have a voice in Parliament, right? That's the way Parliament should work, and I'm pretty sure it worked up until about the 1960s. Yeah, getting back to the whole gaming horizontal decline, yeah. Now, I've talked about this before. I'll actually bring this one up. Where is it? Where is these links? Liquid Sky. Right. I brought this up with other people. Learn more. Liquid Sky is where on your own PC, right, it doesn't matter what it is, it can be like, quite frankly, as long as you've got a web access, right, and you can download a little bit of software. I'm not quite sure, this one here has a client software that goes with it. We're all familiar with remote desktop computing. In this case here, Liquid Sky allows you to run up a system in America. You pay by the hours you use it. I think starting price was something like $16 a month, and that gives you something like 30 hours of gaming time. You sign into it. You can, if you're in Steam, you can download your Steam games to it. So all your games are in the cloud on a virtual PC in low latency. Which means you can play on your computer, then you can move over to your phone. You can, as long as you can connect, you can play on your phone, and you can play on your tablet, and it gave you complete flexibility. But you're still pretty much using your own hardware. The way that the Google system is works similar. You're going to log into a web page and you're going to bring up a full screen of your game. It's going to be again like a what do you call it, a virtual PC in the Google Cloud. But the one thing that they're doing, which is different to what we do with the Liquid Sky, is you can buy a controller, but the controller has a separate account linked to the account that you got in the cloud. So the fact that what they're sort of saying there is it's going to reduce lag from that input. So your controllers are going to have a separate channel, low latency, which like Google can run a like I can get Google low latency into America at like 60 milliseconds, which is the way that their low latency cloud works, which means that the controller will work on that 60 millisecond latency, whereas the visuals will still have a little bit more lag because it's using virtual PC technology. So your screen refresh rates are going to be dependent on your bandwidth. Look, if I'm getting too weird with some of this shit, you just tell me, because I know like I can just ramble on with some of that stuff and completely lose people. But we can definitely have these discussions. This is the whole idea. People want to know this sort of stuff. I've been in the computer industry for 30 odd years. Nothing's really new to me. I do follow it pretty well, and I can, yeah, there's another one, so let's just get rid of that one. Yeah, ban him. They're a bit slow on the create accounts. I'm not quite sure what's taken them so long, like, but they've got to go away and do all those, set another account. I think they can do 5 accounts. They'll track your IP address. So unless, of course, they're going to refresh IP addresses, right? Google will ban that account directly after they do it 5 times. Or something like that. There is an algorithm that fixes this thing here. So let them come in and they can play their little games, right? And then they'll ban their IP address, and then they can't do it and shit like that. They've got to wait a week or something like that. Google really have to get a lot better with that stuff. It's amazing why they don't play the game better. So where are we? Where are we up to? Oh, we've still got 27 people watching. I know it's getting a bit late. I know, I don't know, for America, we'll pick up different crowds as we go along. I'm not quite sure DigitalOcean what the reference is there, but yeah, they're like, I've got MSI technology, which uses the NVIDIA. NVIDIA have a gaming platform already up and running. MSI have a gaming platform already up and running or in development. There's a lot of things out there. And again, if you really want to be, cutting edge, it doesn't stop you from going and getting a virtual PC through Microsoft or Amazon and putting it up in the cloud as well. It'll all do the same thing. They all just have a cost, relative cost to it. What we're trying to wait for here is to see what the relative costs for Google are going to be and to see if they're going to be playing the game. Anyway, so where are we? As I said, this was a test run. We're going to try to do more scheduled. I don't know what the best times are. I know we want to catch the Australian crowd, so probably starting at maybe 6 o'clock in the evening, a couple of times a week. I got to work something out. I looked at before, but I didn't want to really jump too much onto Bangkok. So Bangkok Travel, I think he was streaming at the time when I did come on. He's obviously finished now, but he'd been running for an hour. I didn't really want to take his thunder. Again, we're all friends over here. But he'd been streaming for an hour. I did check what he was doing, and it just seems like he was fairly interactive, but he'd said his bits and pieces. How long he went for, I didn't see. But I did want to run a test. So. Why do these dickheads bother attack? Well, again, they get like a warm and fuzzy feeling. It's an addiction. Like we get addicted to nicotine, or we get addicted to sex, or we get addicted to, having a shot of alcohol, or methamphetamines, or whatever. They all release dopamine in the brain, which is an addiction molecule. You want more of it. You get a taste of it. You want more of it. These guys here have pretty much run the gauntlet of probably they've had so much porn in their life that porn no longer gets an adrenaline rush, right, or a dopamine hit, right? So their new crutch is causing havoc with people, right? It seems to get their dopamine, receptors spiked up, and it gives them a rush, right, that they're doing something to thwart somebody or other else. Whatever it is, it's a pointless exercise. We keep it under control these days. If they want to go and sit there and set up another account and come on and put that picture in there, and fine. If that's what floats your boat, then we're not stopping you. We'll just ban you when you come here. That's it. You're not a welcome crowd. You offer nothing to the community. I don't really want to give them any thunder than that. They are a blight, and it's just not Thailand. You should see the shit that we see on gaming channels. As I said, I watch a fair lot of gaming videos, and you think that we've got it bad here in Thailand with the Thailand vlogging scene and trolls, mate? They've got nothing. Gaming channels, they will actually spend money and send what they call a distributed denial of service attack on the game server when they figure the game server's a dress out, just to bring the game server down, right? That's how they deal with it, right? You think this is bad here, and this is kids. These are immature little adults that have got nothing better to do with their time. Yeah, Friday evening's actually a good time because we can, again, Saturday evening is also a better time, Saturday mornings. I'm gonna leave that as a Q&A. Probably when this thing, I'll leave a Q&A up on the questions. What times would suit people. So have a look for that Q&A up in that corner, wherever it's going to go. I don't know. When this thing goes back to stream, there'll be a Q&A, questionnaire. Again, it's going to come to the feedback from you guys. We did talk about this when we were doing the Talkback Thailand. We were going to do 3 time zones. I think 9 a.m. in the morning, 6 p.m. and this time right now. I don't know. I'm going to have a look at my calendar. Let me swap over. Time converter. So, just showing you there. Now I'm only using a free service called World Time Buddy, so it gives me the time zone here. This is 10 o'clock, right? So this is we're just hitting Anchorage, which is where my mate Corey lives in Alaska. So West Coast is 8 a.m. So we're just hitting US West Coast breakfast time now. East Coast, well, they should be at work now. London, people are just starting to get home. I think that's why Kev does his at midnight. But again, midnight's a bit of a challenge for me. Right here, Sydney Eastern Time, this is 2 o'clock in the morning. Finding an ideal zone time for the 3 main audiences that we deal with here, it's not an easy one to do, right? So if I want to do America, it's 10 a.m. That will get an American audience. If I want to do London, right, I'm up at sort of like 2 o'clock in the morning to get an ideal London time. They're the worst ones to deal with, unless of course we look at London. We do Saturday mornings, where I'm doing 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So again, look. Don't forget, if you like these little links to websites to look at this sort of stuff, these are what I use. These are my links that I've become accustomed to working stuff out with. And yeah, quite freely, you can put 4 time zones up on here and get an idea of what things work for you. I have a little application that I run on. Well, my laptop's gone away for repair, so it's something that we're dealing with at the moment. Yeah, my power supply, we think my power supply broke. So yeah, that's a way being fixed at the moment. Yeah, look, it's going to go up and down, and again, people come in and people go out. As I said, I've come on today without really a format. I wanted to check and make sure the audio levels are working. As I said, what I'm doing is I've taken, I've just downloaded a whole bunch of Google Music. This is what they call the music that they allow you to stream in your videos without what they call accrediting the author. So I've got something like about 2 or 3 hours of music. I've got it on random play. And so there's something like, I think, 50 tracks in there. You may hear something come up, but again, it's just background music. Ideally, what I really want to do, and maybe we can actually talk about that right now, right, which is Discord. Now I keep on pushing this. Nobody's really sort of got onto this one yet. Yeah, I've got my gaming friends. But let's just take a quick look at what Discord looks like, just so you guys have an idea. I've been meaning to teach Drew how to use this thing here, but whether he sort of gets the time again 3 hours, or he's 2 hours ahead of me, or 3 hours ahead. He's also started a Discord channel. Let me flick over to the Discord screen. Right, so this is. If you're running the application for a desktop computer, this is what your Discord screen looks like. It's like Facebook Messenger on steroids. So you can have a direct messaging. This is my friend over in the UK that helps me with my websites. This is a friend of Drew's who helped Drew set up his channel. This is Cody's private chat. I won't stick on there because it's a private chat. But yeah, get an idea. So you've got your private chat one-to-one. And then, of course, you've got your group chats, which is something we really don't have in... Well, you do have in Facebook land, but it's really hard to manage. It's just basically everybody is an all free-for-all, whereas this one here, this is the my Patreon supporters. These are the Patreon supporters who want to have special privilege and have their own Discord channel. I'm always available for them when they come on. They've just got to pop me a private message that they're coming on. But if we do something with Patreon, we can definitely have, as we build up the Patreon supporters, we can have our Patreon, special private meeting groups where they can all join into a live stream here, but just for Patreon supporters. This is my normal group chat. These are all the people that currently use this particular group within the Discord system. If you are going to join the Discord, this is where you would come in. You would be invited. You're being invited into Wazza's streaming channel, which gives you permission to come on voice and say hello. And rather than sit there and talk, we can talk one-on-one. Not much to really learn there. You can also join that via a web link. As long as you've got your microphone sort of set up, then you can web link in here, and you can also download the application on your mobile phone, and you could come in via your mobile phone as well. So it's very flexible. As I said, this is the gaming group that I work with out of this is Cody's gaming group. This is Tokyo Drew. If you've ever, don't forget to, if anybody can just get, look, I can get Tokyo Drew's link. I'll talk about Tokyo Drew because we talk about each other. He does have his own Discord channel. So again, he's sort of set that up. I haven't sort of seen the latest messages. But again, it's a general chat system. He's put that out there for his people. And they can now come on and sort of join in voice. That doesn't have to be necessarily with the live stream, but it expands the communication into building community, which is really what I keep on sort of getting back to. These are my other gaming groups. Depending on what's going on, depending on who I'm gaming with, I may be sort of joining here and going over to this gaming group, which is Oz Outpost. It's one of the games I play. This is one of the hosts in Australia where this is how you contact your hosting support group. Southern Cross Alliance, this is like the mega group of people in Australia with Star Citizen. This is like our big brother league when Star Citizen goes and plays. I won't go into all the details. It's something people ask about, then we can talk about that later on. So that's what Discord looks like for a user, and it's quite simple. There's a link down there. You click on that link, it'll take you through a couple of sign-up processes, and away you go. You can come on voice, and I will minimize that screen, and we'll go back to the large screen format. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so as Stephen sort of says, face to face, these idiots. So they've got nothing to offer. Maybe they were hard done by some lovely little bar girl, and as we know, bar girls, all power to them. If they've got to support a family up in Narn on that rice farm, where they probably make $5,000 US a year, right, to support 6 to 8 people in the family, all well power to them if they want to go down and move down to Pattaya and work in one of the bar scenes, right? And if you fall for those types, right, and you lose money on those types, well, guess what? All our channels discuss that. We don't make any sort of any hidden agenda, right? There is a certain type of crowd, the bar scenes, right, the go-go bars, right? They're there as a business. And if you fall into the monkey business sort of side of the business, then if they take your life savings, well, you probably deserved it, right? If you don't come to Thailand with your head screwed on, if you don't go anywhere in the world with your head screwed on, you deserve to lose any sort of right to go and explore those places. It doesn't happen in Thailand. It happens in pretty much every Asian place. I've been to England. It happened over there. You know, my very first 6 months living in Scotland when I was 15, mate, I felt like such a fifth wheel over there. And they actually speak a language that you can sort of understand. I was a scapegoat of every trick under the book until I started to fashion my speech into a Glaswegian accent, and and I think we arrived around winter time that year. So summertime came around, and then I got my skateboard out. And skateboarding, they were only just coming into skateboarding, and I had been skateboarding for 5 years. I was a although I was mediocre, I was a skateboarding king in Scotland, and they all wanted to know how to do the tricks, right? Strange how quickly I was a scapegoat over there, being the hero, and showing off everywhere and teaching other people some of the tricks, right? I was the guy everybody wanted to know. Strange how those sort of things happen. But yeah, it happens everywhere in the world. If you go to America, like there's the stories, the fact that the Americans love Australians. They love Australians doing their Australian bullshit things in the bars and getting, and shouting everybody beer and everything else. But you get ostracised over there just as much as you do over here. The only thing is you can hear yourself being ostracised. You can hear, people making fun of you, and you can retaliate. Generally, if you know how to fight. But it happens everywhere. It's just the fact that, Asian countries, you generally just don't know the language. So you feel left out. I'm still learning the language, and I don't think I'll really master it for another 5 years. Stephen Monash, he's planning to come over here, and he's spending a good deal of time in amongst his studies, practicing Thai, I believe. So he's probably going to come over here knowing more Thai than me. My writing group, Foreign Writers in Thailand, I actually feel left out in that group as well because they know more Thai than I do. I think Dan, he's from Canada, right, and he almost speaks fluent Thai. He talks to Korkai and Guy in Thai, and I have no idea what he's saying. I understand a lot of what I hear in Thai, but when he talks Thai, he's pretty much talking that what they call that corrected monarchy version of Thai, which is the proper Thai, which is again different to street Thai, and his tonal inflections are a lot more off than everybody else. Anyway, I don't want to go into that. It's something we can discuss, and we can make that a topic of discussion, and we can just explore those sort of things when people can really. And I'll get some links up on screen, and we can talk about practicing Thai and stuff like that. Yeah, well, again, Stephen, like I probably could put the extra lighting on as well. I know it's night time now. I could probably turn this light around here and get more lighting on. No, let's not do that. I can't really. Anyway, I haven't really thought about the lighting sort of side of things. I have actually got extra lights here which I can turn on. I just didn't even think about it. Anyway, the lighting doesn't matter. It's like I'm talking. Me on the screen. That's just to say there's there's a talking voice on there. Do you reckon I can speak underwater? Well, I don't know. These little waterproof cameras. If I can actually plug a microphone in, we could actually try speaking underwater. You know where I can get a waterproof microphone. Yeah, well, like this is the thing. NCS copyright music. I've heard people actually have problems with that, and so, and again, not that it's. They might, when they say copyright music, what really happens with copyright these days, if it's part of a longer video, it's just the fact that, you know, like a 3-minute song will come on, and like, okay, so I average 1,500 views per video. You know, like I make probably, you know, was it probably $2 a day, you know, in YouTube land, in monetization. What's that, $60 a month? I'm not, you know, saying, yeah, look, I'm great. I make $60 a month, but $60 a month is $60 a month I didn't have before. Buy Chanya a dress or something like that. You know, it doesn't come out of my pocket. Every time I'm that sort of money, guess what? It's little gifts I buy for the family. It's not, you know, my budget is my budget. What I make on Patreon and what I make on YouTube here, there's little bonuses that I can get in. It's like I can buy a 500 baht bucket of KFC once every fortnight, and, you know, shout the family some KFC because they love KFC. They really do. Mate, that bucket goes like that. But yeah, so people think you make a fortune on YouTube. Yeah, well, you know, you're getting on some of the bigger channels. You know, it works out. You know, you can make a nice little bit of pocket money. For me, it's not in my budget. It's not really sort of part of it. But well, I said my overall January payments, right? All the money I derive from Patreon, from the streams I did run, which is the pledges people put in. The little dollar thing that's on the chat. You know, what do they call that? The I can't remember what the name of that stuff is. You know, you click the dollar sign and you can sponsor the channel, you know, with a pledge. And then of course the AdSense. I get AdSense from their websites and AdSense from other places. I've got my little online businesses. Well, I actually sort of made, was it, I transferred, well, actually I did, I transferred $700 out of my YouTube account, no, my PayPal account in January, right, to my Aussie account to pay for this camera gear, which I've been looking for the last 2 months. So effectively, yeah, the channel did pay for this new camera. Right, but you know, that's, you know, something I've been planning for. You know, it all helps. So, you know, nobody's going to buy you a new camera. It's just, you know, people think, you know, like these trolls that are out there, they think that the cameras are all free. You know, I'm sorry. You know, I was conservative in what I spent. You know, I could spend 16,000 baht. You know, I think that's not bad for 3 years of running a YouTube channel. But as I said, it's not all AdSense. You know, it comes in for pledges. Like if you want to pledge and you think that it's worth, you know, if I'm doing a good job, you know, you can hit that little dollar sign, whatever they call it. Like, what do they call that shit again? I keep on forgetting the name of it. Super Chat. That's it. Super Chat. Pad Thai. Yes, honey, you moved home. You traitor. You left and went back home. What's going on with you? Seriously. I do know the story, so unless, of course, Pat wants to talk about the story here, I won't say anything. But sad to see you go, honey. I wanted to hang out with you more and have you come and hold my camera. But we could never seem to work those sort of things out. You're always a bit too shy to come out. But anyway, hopefully we'll see you on your little sabbaticals. She is planning to come out every December, I think she said December through to February, so she's coming out for 3 months at a time, and we'll be looking forward to when you're coming out. But in the meantime, hopefully the videos that we do will keep you plugged in. We'll be doing some more trips down to Cha Am at the end of April when Rob gets here. When Rob gets here, then there will be a crash pad down in Cha Am for me. So I do plan to sort of probably go down there, you know, do some beach stuff and wander around. Hopefully we can bump into JC or something like that, you know, on the off chance we can bump into JC when I'm down in Cha Am. All well and good. So those are sort of things that are coming up in April, May. We've been talking about this offline with a few people. I would really actually like to live in Charm. It's a really nice looking place. But again, it's going to take a bit of groundwork, and whether I could actually get Chanya to uproot from here, which is her family stomping ground. She grew up in this area. So this is her roots. She knows everything. She knows the lay of the land. She knows where all the deals are. She knows where all the markets are. She knows everything. And for her to leave all that and go and live down in Charm in a beach area, yeah, it would take some convincing. But I think 2 to 3 years from now, maybe when she's feeling really confident with her business, we'll probably look at, taking one of those shop houses and setting up down there. The biggest problem with the whole shop house idea is, I've always sort of said that I want to take care of Mother ever since ever since the 2011 floods. I said the farm up in Sukhothai that got flooded out, Bangkok got flooded out, and ever since then I've just sort of said to Chanya, I want to take care of Mother as well. So Mother is always welcome in our house. I didn't extend that to Father and to her brother, to two brothers. I'm very strict on those sort of regimes. I will take care of Mother because it's Chanya's role in the family unit to look after family, right? Father, okay, he's not in the workforce, but he does odd jobs. But as I said, when it comes to B and Ben, they're the males of the household. It really is up to them to be providers. And okay, B's now got himself a taxi, and I believe he's going for his taxi driver's license. So he will be in the workforce as a taxi driver very, very soon. But Ben, he's 22 years old. He's still not looking like holding down any sort of regular work, and quite frankly, I'm no charity here. The men of the household should be the providers. The women, okay, they look after the family when the family gets older, and that's something that I will be part of because I'm committed to Chanya and our relationship. So getting back to Charm, so if we move to Charm, then will Mother want to move as well, right? And then what is Mother going to do to keep herself occupied? Which means, do I get into 2 shop fronts side by side and rent 2 of them, or do I put down a deposit and buy 2 or something like that? These are still up in the air ideas. But yeah, so getting 2 of those, 3-story high shop front things and knocking a central wall out, maybe that's the way to go. We're going to have downstairs, we're going to have the salon on one side and Mother's little sewing bee on the other side. But then again, will that work? And will the girls come down to Charm and work? That's an unknown situation. Too many up in the airs. And again, it's 2 to 3 years from now, as things become more solid and as I learn more Thai. That's what we will probably do. And of course, I'm losing track of what everybody's asking again. I should really sort of keep it in line with what the chat is over here on the side. But I could talk underwater. Getting back to where are we? So, got a few. Kim, he's got a. Sorry, Kim. Sorry to see you go. Glad you could join us. Interesting layout. Yeah, thanks, Pat. Not in Google Translate, except when she said it. Yeah, Google Translate gets you by, but it's no it's no panacea. That's another thing. Like I've been there's what they call one of these handheld devices, which is supposed to be 98% and can actually interactively work. It's called the Mise device. I contacted them about 6 months ago and it's just said I'd like a demonstration unit and see how well it works, because quite frankly you haven't done any videos, or the video that you did on the Thai language doesn't give me confidence that it's going to work at all well, right? And they've been on my case to buy one, and they say they'll refund it if I show it on a channel and all that sort of stuff. Do you really trust a Chinese and a Chinese company to turn around and sort of say, well, I've just shown this device and promoted your device in here. It's called Miso. That's all they're getting from me. There's been a few that Travis Translator came out a couple of years ago. That's another one that's on the market. I know in Japan they've got a really good one, but the Japanese language is a lot easier to translate than the Thai, and it works quite well. These handheld translators, I don't have any real faith in them, and quite frankly, the Google voice translation does work extremely well these days, and I've done that. I've put the phone on the desk in conversations and put it into translate mode, and all you got to do there is just know what's the speaking voice. That's the speaking voice is English, or the speaking voice is Thai, and you can actually sort of get through and have a reasonable conversation, so long as you're breaking the conversation down into simple sentences, and Google Translate does quite well. Gets you by in those sticky situations. Anyway, I'm rambling on again. If I had Google Pixel, I'd probably use that in Pixel Buds. Again, see, Google Pixel, you're going to have to buy online. You've got absolutely zero. You've got zero support over here in Thailand for the Google Pixel. I still have my Nexus 6, which is my Google Nexus. This is my authenticating device. I run dual authentication, so if every month I've got to authenticate. Every time that I log out and log into something, I need to authenticate. You know how it works. It's just one of those sort of things. It gives me safety. That never leaves the house. And again, I can't get it replaced anyway if something goes wrong. So it stays here, it stays on charge. And if I need to authenticate, I can get my authentication code and away it goes. If you're traveling and living in Thailand, if you're not running dual authentication, you're not doing yourself a favour, that's for certain. A 100 minutes, yeah. I better just keep an eye on the time. I don't want to. So we're coming up to. So like, how about we finish it in the 15 minutes mark? So we'll go for the 2-hour mark, and take it and then close it down and sort of try to work into that 2-hour scheduling thing. Find the best times. And people are still sort of there. I got 22 thumbs up, which is good. 3 thumbs down, was probably those 3 were banned already. But you know, that's how it works. Yeah, I do. I'd like to meet up with JC one day. We did reach out when we were running the Talkback program, but he says he's too busy on the weekends to do anything. His free days are during the week. And that, again, maybe that's what will happen. I'll get down to Charm maybe on a weekday, because that's when Chanya gets off. We might work down, leave on Tuesday night, go and spend down Wednesday down there and come back Wednesday, and then try to hook up with JC and do a collab vlog and talk about all things Charm. But again, it's one of those things. I'll leave it up in the air. I think he's one of the best vloggers in Thailand. But again, that's my opinion. Might not agree with everybody. Yeah, Charm, Hua Hin's only about a 30-minute drive from Charm on a reasonable day. I think it's about 20 minutes if you get no traffic. Hope not HD. Not quite sure what you meant there. Well, actually, no, Charm, I think that's what he's saying. I was on a decline. Charm's a 2-hour ride from here to Charm, and then to Hua Hin's an extra 30 minutes. So if we get down, well, I will probably drive down because, well, we might ride down. If Chanya just doesn't feel comfortable riding at night, Doesn't bother me. I'd write dye day and night or whatever. But Chanya said she's the one who's a bit more careful. Yeah, sort of like I could, the shop front houses, I think like we said in that recent video, I think here they're about 5,000 baht a month, but they're also quite dingy looking as well. You need to just look around and, what seems to be happening around our area is people buying too, and then they pull all the insides out, refurbish them, and then they make a double front. I think they go for about 2 million baht in this area. So me, what we could do there, once Chanya can get finance approved through finance companies, after running a business, then I may transfer, $40,000 out of Australia, which is around about a million baht, and that'll be a deposit for, which we could do, a deposit for a home loan, and then removes all the rental situation and all that sort of stuff. And we're no longer paying rent, we're paying a mortgage. But again, it's all numbers, we're still number crunching. Spending 4 million baht, then you probably got another maybe sort of half a million baht to do it all up. But again, it's there are other ideas. Any plans for Chanya's birthday in May? Not so far. If you know Thailand, seriously, nobody makes plans anything longer than a week out. I make plans for a week out and they're forgotten by 3 days out, and I'm having to sort of negotiate. Well, we said a week ago that we were going to go and do this. Now you want to go and do this. And surely you knew about this 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. Why didn't you say something then? I've already told people I'm going to go and do this. It's not always roses. We do have a few, situations where, Thailand timekeeping gets a bit really sideways sometimes. I get a message on Facebook that we're going to go and do this or we're going to go and do that. But then she turns and says, but I made plans to do this. Well, why didn't you tell me you made plans? We could have made plans together. But I don't find out about that until 2 days out or 1 day out, or like tonight. She didn't even make any plans to, excuse me. She didn't even make any plans to go up and see Chai and Nan. I was thinking about doing the YouTube, they're doing this, so this is my plan tonight, and I wouldn't have mind going up and seeing Chai now. They're my friends as well. But, such is life. So, when it gets to probably May 15th, her birthday's on the May 27th, so around May 15th, we may actually know what we're doing. I just haven't made any plans as of yet. What does it say on my cap? This one here, Harley Davidson. This is my Harley Davidson cap. I've got 20 odd caps here, but this is, people say, why do I wear the Harley Davidson cap? Well, this one here is really the most comfortable cap I've got out of all the caps I've bought. Oh, so this other one here. Hey, no, no mosquitoes to swat. Lucky I put the lid on that. Yeah, so this one here is, again, got a good comfort level. I don't know if you ever buy caps, they can really sort of, they can pinch here, they can pinch here, they can pinch a few other places, or the strap's not right, or the strap's got Velcro on it and pulls your hair. You wouldn't, the problem buying decent caps. But this one here is the most comfortable I got, so that's why I wear it all the time. And I'll be getting more into the whole, regular time slots, although I'm not missing drinking, I don't think I'm actually technically given up drinking. I've just decided that I really don't want to drink anymore. Just like I've actually given up coffee. I haven't had coffee for 4 weeks. Can you believe that? And one of the things me and Kev were talking about, we were comparing gastroesophageal reflux disorder, which is where his cancer was detected because he went and had a CAT scan and all that sort of stuff. He actually had GERD a lot more stronger than I did. I have problems with GERD. I think it's an old age thing, and as I lose weight, maybe this combination of losing weight, not drinking coffee, so some exercising and a few other bits and pieces, maybe that's why I'm not really having to rely on the antacids so much. It's made a big difference in my comfort level. Like I would get like heartburn. People like doctors sort of said it was possibly an ulcer and everything else, but when I had that checked, they said no, it's just GERD. You're just one of these people. It started when I started putting on the weight about 7 or 8 years ago. That's about when it started. Basically, one thing leads to another. As I trim down and get down to my ideal 75 kilos again, well then maybe we might see that particular thing go away. 2:49 a.m. Is that what is it? Well, in Sydney, I guess it is. Back in the dino saving now, are you, Pat? What are you doing up at this time of the morning? You should be in bed. Go to bed. ZC. Yeah, so that's one of my US viewers. So like, again, talking about that whole time zone. I do want to be able to get a lot of my US followers and have them participate. But I have one of the games I play. It's called Second Life, and Saturday mornings is when I actually have a meeting with my Second Life compatriots. As again, Monday morning I have a 6:30 a.m. get up time for a 7 a.m. meeting. It's like, I won't go into it. One day I'll show you Second Life. That's another thing for another time. So, but again, if I do, I think it was at 2 p.m. We're going to have to look at the times, but people have been asking me to do the live streams, and when I've joined other people's live streams, they've hinted the fact that they'd like me to do it. So I just wanted to do a little bit different, a little bit prettier, a little bit more swish. Get some topics going. Start looking at technologies. People have been asking about what's the best thing to set up. So I'm now set up to demonstrate that online interactively with people, as you saw with those clips we did before. We can actually go and look at some of the games, and if you want to look at some games to play. Am I a boomer? Well, actually he's born in 61, so 61's that transitional year. I think baby boomer was 60, but it depends. Like, there's different books have different rules. I think they called me Gen X, but I'm a gamer, Yes, Thai time, yeah. When Chanya gets home, I'll say you said hi, Pat. It's all right. I would have loved to have bought one of these things here in Australia. Mate, these things here, it's actually quite fun killing mosquitoes with this thing. Because they go zzz, zzz. I can't demonstrate because there's none in here. But Chanya, she, although I have the fly spray over there for those times when I just can't get the mosquito because they fly behind the curtain or somewhere. But she hates me. She absolutely hates me spraying that stuff. She says the stuff smells foul. So I don't spray it, or at very rare occasions do I spray it in the room. But yeah, so the fly spotter, and I'm getting pretty good with it. My aim is getting better. Why didn't us army? Why didn't? Why didn't the U.S. Army napalm Thailand? Well, they really weren't part of the war, right? No, they weren't part of the napalming exercises in Vietnam. Maybe you got your geography wrong there a bit, Marshall. Yeah, the only time that Thailand was really involved in the war was the Second World War, where they they basically let Japan walk through and just help Japan in the war because they just weren't going to put up a fight. When the war was finished, the Japanese army pissed off again. But as for napalming, don't even know why you would ask that question. Napalm was used in Vietnam, and Vietnam's 2 countries across. Do you play Lord of the Rings online? I've actually got an account on there. I'm only about level 35 or something, ZC. I've got an account on Star Trek Online too. I haven't loaded it recently. I don't know what level I think I'm about level 30 or something, but I haven't played that for about 4 years. I'm level 70 in Neverwinter. If you're playing Star Trek Online, then you probably also played Neverwinter. So careful the boss doesn't see me on YouTube. Why would your boss see you on YouTube? If we game, we could stream what the Lord of the Rings online if you wanted to. And there we go. That's the 2-hour mark. Just clocked 2 hours. Okay. So any questions? Look, I think we've got the audio levels the way we wanted to. Everything seems to be running. People have sort of basically told me that they like the style. So, as somebody sort of said, I could put motion pictures in the background. I could stream videos, but if I was streaming video, I'd only be able to stream my videos or stream my ride sequence in the video. I don't know if that's really interesting enough. I may just change backdrop pictures, but again, this is a picture I shot when we were up in going up to Songkhla. If I actually used pictures on from Google Pictures or Google Images, there are copyright things you need to worry about there as well. So I could swap around different pictures here, different backdrops. Maybe a backdrop to suit a topic. Again, sort of even sort of dropping over here and putting the that's just a screen backdrop. I could go into my where we go. So we can bring that one up. Again, I can't easily turn that into a screen backdrop. I could probably F12, F11 and I can take it full screen. But yeah, you get the idea. We'd have to work something out by having some changeable pictures or even slideshow on the backgrounds, changing the pictures regularly. Things I can play with. But other than that, and we can don't forget, we've got the Thailand Hub. Love to have you guys join and get you off Facebook, get you off being spied upon. Okay, I might spy upon you a bit, but I'd really like to see this thing here grow into something where we can share ideas, people can start their own groups, start to share information about Thailand. It functions very much like Facebook. This is why we've chosen this particular software. It's still got a couple of bugs I'm working through. There is a sponsorship sort of thing where you can actually help me fund it. You know, you can sponsor your own channel. Like I've just got some examples. These are ads that are running in the feed, making sure that that part works. There's got some Google AdSense on there as well. But again, you know, these things here aren't free to run. But again, see, you know, Thailand Hub, it's a community. You can come on there for as little as $200. For as little as $2, you can put an ad up for your own channel, right? To have people come to your channel. If you're a vlogger or if you've got your own business, you can put your own business ads up in here. They've got a good placement. We've got a good side placement for ads. So there's the two side placements here and here. Every six in the every five in the feed will give us, you know, like it randomly rotates. There's only 3 ads running on here. Top Tech Monkey. This is it's a business that my colleague is running. The guy that helps me do the web design. It's a little bit premature, but we wanted to make sure it was working, and so we are. But yeah, we'd love to have you join in there. It does require an email verification. We're going to run a bit of a strict censorship, the same word censorship that we run here on YouTube. I've got the same censorship rules there. We want to keep it upbeat, and although it's an 18+ forum, where you need to sort of say you're above 18 years old and agree to be there older than 18 years, I'm sure people will cheat about that. But ultimately it's something we want to do, again, bringing community back together, and hopefully we'll sort of get a bit more interaction locally with people who like to visit and do Thailand. And again, don't forget my website. It's a great way to find my videos if you're just a viewer. Don't forget to hit that little bell thing down the bottom here. Right, this thing here will notify you of new posts. There is also a down here, there is a where is it? Have I taken it out? I need to look into that. There was what they call a newsletter subscription as well. I don't know why that's missing. I think it might need to update something. But yeah, there's a newsletter, which means that when I post the videos, there will be an email about the video coming through as well. Anyway, so like I know, we're rambling on again. Hope to see you guys soon. Oh, John, I'm not on Facebook. So will that still work? No, I specifically didn't have a Facebook login for Thailand Hub, although I can integrate those normal social platforms. I'm very much anti having this cross-platform login, because if your Facebook account gets hacked, then all those other accounts could get hacked, right? I've said this before, and I'll say it again, right? If you're on the internet, this is what you need. You need something like LastPass. These are all my accounts on the internet. Each one of these accounts has a unique password, right? And those unique passwords look something like this, right? If you can see those passwords, 16 characters, alphanumeric, right? And the only way you can, I don't even know my passwords. I have one master password phrase which logs me into LastPass. It requires dual authentication, right? I've said that before, dual authentication, right? It manages my passwords. And as you see, I use it extensively. These are all my accounts on the internet. Not one of those has a duplicate password. And if you're not doing that, you're really sort of doing yourself a disfavour. Okay, it might be a service you need to pay for. I think it costs $40 a year. There's probably, I could probably link up what they call a link to click on where I could get a, like costs off on that as well. But we can talk about LastPass at another time. We can talk about Liquid Sky and Google at another time. We could talk about all sorts of things. I'm now set up to do that. I don't want to do YouTube reviews because, as I said, Stephen's doing that that review process in his what do you call it, talkback program. I'm sure he'll get back to that. I think he's doing it with through Suckerhorn at the moment. So again, it's something he likes to do. And look, quite frankly, I'm not subscribed to all the YouTube channels. Right, I've got a very, very short list. These are just all my favourites. Right, here's the ones I recommend, and the only ones I recommend, these are my favourite Thailand vlogs, which are basically, they need to be people living in Thailand, right, and to be my favourite vlog, you know. Otherwise, I'd have the list gets cycles too many. I'd just sort of draw a line somewhere. Anyway, I don't want to go into that. You know who your favourites are. I know who my favourites are. We don't have to do that. And if we need to, we can always just drop over and have a look at the Thailand Vlogging Hub. Have a, sort of review some of these sort of things. What's Tim doing? What's Bradley doing? I think Bradley moved back to Australia. I'm not quite sure. I haven't followed what Brad's been doing. So Magic Dude, he's linking one of Mick's videos. I haven't seen that one yet. But these are sort of things. Don't forget Lloyd. He's got one of the best channels in Thailand with his wife's channel. God, that thing does like 8,000 views an hour. Oh my God. Good on you, Lloyd. I don't think she would have been able to do the channel without you. I don't actually watch much of what he does because most of the time it's in Thai. But I do keep abreast of what his channel's doing. And it continues to grow. Good luck to him. Talk about cameras, talk about all sorts of things. But yeah, so that's Facebook. We might talk about some of the stuff on Facebook as we get the people on the Thailand Vlogging Hub, the Thailand Hub going, right, and we get more people interacting there. Yeah, well, again, it has, if you are on Facebook, you can share to Facebook, you can share to Twitter. Well, when Google Plus drops off the planet in 2 weeks' time, that we have to remove all the Google Plus links because they won't be there. LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Pinterest, I think that's Telegraph, email. I don't even know what that is. And then that's share to, what is that one? Shares to the Thailand Hub. So yeah, that shares, right, because of the way we are, this is people can reshare articles inside. Yeah, so we can start to get some things going. At the moment, it's only me and a couple other people putting things up. We'd like to see more people interacting there. Test it out. The more people in there, more people testing out, the more we'll sort of know what we need to do. If we need to upgrade our service that's hosting it. Yeah, it's 1:15. Last time I used words. Thailand and Hub. Right. Well, I've been trying to think of a word, like, again, because I've been running the Thailand Vloggers Hub, I wanted to have it a little bit differently from the Thailand Vloggers Hub as a name, but I wanted some sort of crossover, which again, the branding, I wanted people to feel comfortable about moving from one to another. Now, we've got 977 members, we've got maybe sort of 50 or 60 active people in here. It is a public group. So people are always joining all the time, but I want to get more into the interaction here, into the Thailand Vlogging Hub, where we can get a little bit more down to earth. We can speak a bit more frankly. We won't have Facebook tracking us and then recommending things we talk about. And again, some people are just not into Facebook, so we wanted to provide some sort of facility where people who are smarter than me and don't have Facebook accounts. Well, we just wanted to, we wanted to give them a voice as well. So that's why it's a private site, and it will stay private. I can't guarantee that if Facebook wanted to buy my user account and wanted to integrate Thailand app into Facebook or something like, I can't guarantee that I'm not going to fall victim to, yeah, well, give me a couple of $1 million and you can have it, which is typically what happens. But for now, I think that we'll probably get 200 to 300 active users on the platform. I think it should be able to fund itself and keep the servers running, keep the server power relative to make sure we can run, because don't forget, I have to pay for the hosting costs, I have to pay for the storage costs and all that other stuff. It should pay for itself. And as we do more group chats and more live chats, those what they call super chat dollar values, they all go to plug in here and make it work more. So that's it. That's it. 11:15. I've got to shut it down. Good night, Stephen. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for Go Hopping. Thanks for joining us. Nice to see you guys plugging in. Who also? I think Thailand. Was it Talkback Thailand? What was Stephen's? Thailand Unplugged. I think he was here as well. You know where. Look, I'm not going to put the links up. Thanks for joining in, and we'll catch up with you later on. Stay tuned. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Comments down below. Hit that thumbs up, guys. And don't forget to share the videos. You wouldn't be surprised. Sharing these videos online with your friends really boosts the SEO metric. So think about sharing it. Bye for now.